What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Life to Metal. Gonna be doing another rock metal update. That's right, except for the rock metal update. This is going to be all 7-inch vinyl. This is going to be mostly, I'm going to call this all hard rock. Back in the 70s, a lot of this is 70s material. A lot of these bands were considered, you know, the heavies of the 70s. Some of these releases were from 70s bands and their 80s releases. Just going to get right into it. It's just, I have another whole video I'm going to do that's mostly 80s metal, thrash, death metal, that kind of stuff. 7-inch singles that I'll be doing next. But I'm just going to do this one first because, frankly, I've got, look at this stack. It's just been sitting there waiting for me to show. So, all right, let me get right into it. First three are from Kiss. This is a German pressing of All Hell's Breaking Loose. Backed with, let's see here, All Hell's Breaking Loose. Back with Gimme More. And, see, it's got the backwards Z's for the S's, so it's a German pressing. Picture sleeve, very cool, from the Lick It Up album. And then this is a US pressing of Lick It Up, backed with Dance All Over Your Face. Lick It Up is nowhere near one of my favorite Kiss songs. I do like the album quite a bit. Liked that song a lot when it first came out, and enjoyed seeing it live and whatnot. But I don't know, that song is, it's a very simplistic song, and it definitely put Kiss back on the map when this album came out. But it's definitely not one of my favorite Kiss songs. And then the next one is, this is, I forget where this one's from. I didn't write it down, of course. Oh, European pressing of Shandy and She's So European. It's got a little bit of a, right there you can see somebody's name. So Kenneth P. Stenham, I have your record. No, you can't have it back, but I appreciate you putting your name on it so that I can, know who owned it before I did. So anyhow, obviously on the Casablanca label. So I like that, the songs like Shandy, and it was actually a fairly big hit for them in Europe when it came out, but in the United States, that album, Unmasked, just did nothing. So anyhow. Next up, Thin Lizzy, one of my all-time favorite bands. Most of these bands are just favorites of mine that I literally am always looking for, rare singles and stuff like that. And that's what this one is here. I've never seen this one before. I've never owned it before. I was glad to get a copy. This is Nightlife, and it's only money. This is a German pressing from the Nightlife album. You can see the silver Vertigo label. I'll quickly show you the back. I'm not going to be able to show you the back on all these. There's just too many of them. But I love the artwork on the Nightlife album. It's absolutely brilliant. Thin Lizzy always had great artwork, on top of great lyrics and great music. And it's funny because I've seen a few modern metal fans bagging on bands like this and talking that they're too light, they're too soft, they're too this, whatever. This is 70, let's see, Nightlife would have been, 1974, I think, or 75. Yeah, give me a break. Great album, Nightlife, It's Only Money, really glad to have it. And Thin Lizzy singles really don't show up here that often. This is a US pressing of Don't Believe a Word, backed with Boogie Woogie Dance in the original Mercury sleeve. I don't think Mercury ever did any other sleeves but these. Every Mercury album that I have had a sleeve on it. It's in this blue Mercury label, which is weird because the Kiss album, they changed the center label to this black one. And I remember when I was working at the record stores back in the 80s, I worked at Cavage's in Rochester, and I don't remember any of the Mercury records having sleeves. They were always, if they didn't have a picture sleeve, it was in just a plain white sleeve. So I don't know, maybe some record stores got them, some didn't. I don't know. Maybe one of you can tell me, what you know about the Mercury sleeves. It's just odd that they're all the same, even though the center label's changed. All right, next up. This is a weird one. This is a split. It's called All the Great Oldies Are on Collectibles, Original Songs by Original Artists. It's got the original sleeve. As you can see, somebody had written on it with a sticker. I kept it on there because I kind of liked it. I thought it was cool. But this is... The Boys Are Back in Town on one side with 10cc, I'm Not in Love on the other. Very odd. Most of these singles usually have, the same band on both sides. But this one's got two different bands. And I like 10cc and I like Thin Lizzy, but man, those bands couldn't be more different in sound and style. They're not even from the same country, so very unusual, but I'm glad to have it as part of my Thin Lizzy collection. Actually, if I had another copy, I'd put it in my 10cc collection. This one's just kind of an upgrade copy. I found this really clean, perfect copy of Live Killers, the 7-inch version of it. Bad Reputation with, can't remember what the other live songs were. If I can just get the sleeves to open up. So, Are You Ready, Dear Miss Lonely Hearts, and Bad Reputations, and of course, Killers Live. They're all live tracks. With, as you can see in here, you got Scott Gorham on one side. Where is he? There he is. There's Scott Gorham on that side. And then Snowy White on the other side, who came in and, you know, was the 1, 2, 3, the fourth guitar player in the band. Scott Gorham came in on the fourth studio album, and he stayed with the band till the end. Other guitar players came in and out, and Snowy White was with them for like 3 or 4 albums. But Thin Lizzy were a tough band, man. If you were in Thin Lizzy, you had to know how to party and you had to drink, which is a shame because that's why Phil Lynott lost his life. And the guy was just a poet and a great. He was a rock star. It's a shame that his life was wasted due to drugs and alcohol. But in any case, this is a UK pressing of The Boys Are Back in Town, backed with Emerald, which is one of my favorite tracks. Emerald is just a great deep track, very heavy song, especially for when this came out. 1976, I believe this came out. This is live version of Rosalie, which was a cover song that ended up making it onto the Live and Dangerous album. This is the Live and Dangerous version. And then a song called Me and the Boys on the B-side, also recorded live. It was recorded for the Live and Dangerous sessions, but not actually used. So this was a, at the time when this came out, it was a rarity because that song, just wasn't released on the actual album itself. On the Vertigo label, and I can't remember what country this is from. I didn't bother to write them down this time like I normally do. Not because I'm lazy, just because I've been freaking busy. But, I don't know, I can't tell just by looking at it. But it's a European pressing, whatever it is. There you go. There you go. Alright, more Thin Lizzy. This is We Will Be Strong. This is a US promo copy. This is, I believe they're both, let's see, I think it's both stereo on both sides. Mono and stereo. Nope, this is still mono stereo. Which would have been, 1980, 81, somewhere in that area. I think it's 80. But same song, both sides, mono stereo. This is in the, the classic Warner Brothers reprise sleeve. And this was a radio single that was sent out. And this was from the, let's see, What Will Be Strong, 1980. That would have been, Chinatown, from the Chinatown album. This is Thin Lizzy picture sleeve. Do anything you want. I believe this is a UK pressing. Backed with just the two of us. And you can see there's Scott Gorham again. But then you got Gary Moore on guitar on this particular album. So, alright, then speaking of Gary Moore, and that's the reason I put it last, was I've got a beautiful Japanese pressing. I've got a lot of Gary Moore's 7-inch singles. This is just one I didn't have as a Japanese pressing. Got it for a great price. This is Falling in Love with You. It's a new version of the song. It's different than the album version. And it's also got on there Falling in Love with You instrumental version. So, a unique single. And that is different than the album version. It's a re-recorded version. And then, some more Gary Moore. This is Svensk Special. This is Gary Moore with Philip Lynott. Parisian Walkways Live. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember what country, see if I can see what country this is from. Black ink on dark blue background. It actually looks better on the screen than it does in front of me. But I believe this is Sweden. Yeah, it's a Swedish pressing. And it is a gatefold. There's Gary Moore. Of course, Gary Moore. We lost him a few years ago, sadly. He was a great heavy metal, rock, and blues player. And then one more from Gary Moore. This is Lead Clones with Ozzy Osbourne on vocals. This was basically Gary Moore making fun of all the bands in the 80s that were, like, and I'm not putting this band down, but like Kingdom Come, that sounded like Led Zeppelin. So that's what the song is about. Backed with Speak for Yourself. All right, where are we here? Still in the Thin Lizzy related. This is Wild Horses, and this is I'll Give You Love. This is just one of the ones I was missing, but you can see, and the reason it's connected to Thin Lizzy is right there. You can see Brian, guitar player, who was in Thin Lizzy, and then this is bass player. His name's just escaping me. Who was in Rainbow and Dio, among others, and it's just weird. You get in front of people when you get stupid. You get in front of cameras, you get stupid. At least I do. Brian Robertson and what was the dude's name? Jeez, I can't remember his name for the life of me. It's ridiculous. But yeah, you can see the two members inside. It's a gatefold. It is a 2 LP single. Has the little sleeves. And come on, dude. Use your brain here. I'm looking for a name like in the credits or something. And you guys are probably all screaming at me. Jimmy Bain. Damn. Get old sucks. Jimmy Bain, who was, of course, in the classic Rainbow back with Dio. He was in Dio as well, in those early Dio albums. He was part of the original Dio band. Saw him live on the Holy Diver tour and on the Last in Line tour and a couple tours after that. So, anyhow, Wild Horses. These two guys actually lived together in the same flat, even when they weren't in the same bands. And that's kind of how they got together and started doing music together. And Wild Horses put out 2 full-length albums, and they had like 5 or 6 different singles that you can buy, this being one of them. I actually got to meet Jimmy Bain, not meet him in person, but I got to meet him online one time before he passed away. Jimmy's no longer with us. But he was selling some of his old stuff, and I bought a Wild Horses single from him, and he signed it to me. So I thought that was really cool. I still have it. And then he passed away not long after that. All right, staying with the 70s, this is Van Halen and The Cradle Will Rock. Backed with Could This Be Magic, and I believe this is a German pressing. Cool pictures of the band on there. This is a Japanese pressing of Van Halen. So this is Dancing in the Streets, backed with I can't see the backside. The Fool Bug has the original sleeve and then the slip in front, like a lot of Japanese pressings do. And that's all I have from Van Halen, just those two. I'm honestly not a big fan of Van Halen after the first 4, 5 albums. I thought it was a downhill slide after that. I liked Sammy Hagar as a solo artist. I loved Sammy Hagar, in Montrose, but Van Halen, Sammy Hagar just never really appealed to me all that much, so I don't really collect anything. I've got a few things from that era, but it's just not my my main game. All right, staying with the 70s. This is Cheap Trick, Stop This Game. This is actually 1980. This album, it's got Huda King on the B-side. Huda King. This is I believe a German pressing. Yeah, German pressing from the album that was produced by George Martin, the Beatles producer. There's the back. I like that album a lot. Some people didn't because it wasn't quite as heavy and didn't sound like the first 4 studio albums. Their first album with Jack Douglas was probably their heaviest sounding studio album at that time. This one was a little more commercial. It's George Martin producing, but I loved it. I think it's great. It's just, Cheap Trick are just straightforward rock and roll, power pop, whatever you want to call them. I never considered them a heavy metal band, so why would I want them to be heavy? But great band nonetheless. This is a single that was from a song that was never released on a Cheap Trick album. This was actually for the Top Gun movie, and it was called Mighty Wings, and backed with Harold Faltermeyer, Dogfight Number 3. But, oops, and I just threw the single. But I bought it obviously because it's Cheap Trick and it's got a picture sleeve, and I just never seen a picture sleeve of this one. There's a U.S. pressing of this too that's in just a Columbia sleeve. I don't have that one yet. That one kind of slipped by me. Cheap Trick, If You Want My Love. Great song, great album. Again, a lot of people weren't into this as much because it was a little more poppy, but when you call your band power pop or rock and roll, why would you expect it to be heavy? It's just great, rock and roll with big hooks. This being I believe, a UK pressing with Four Letter Word on the B-side. This is from the 1990s self-titled Cheap Trick album, which was on a label that I believe went under not long afterwards. But I think this single is from Sub Pop Records. Kind of like the graphic-looking girl in the front with the stuff in her hair, the newspaper clippings and whatnot. It's kind of fun. Back cover's really nicely done. The graphics on this thing are amazing, but being a graphics guy, that's one of the things I always look for, you know. Baby Talk and Brontosaurus are the 2 tracks on here. Next up, Cheap Trick, 1996. This is Waiting for the Man and Heroin Live. This is the last Cheap Trick single for this batch, anyhow. Backed with I Want You to Want Me alternative version. So there's that. Let me show you the cover. The cover is not all that exciting. It does have a picture sleeve. It's not a generic sleeve, but not much to it either. Not much on the back either, but a cool collector's single nonetheless. All right, next up we're on Queen. I only have one from Queen, but this is a cool one. This is Bohemian Rhapsody and I'm in Love with My Car. I can't remember where this pressing is from, but man, it's just a nice, got a nice picture of the band. And I love 70s Queen. They were progressive, they were, I don't know, ethereal at times, and epic, but they were also heavy. They had a lot of heavy moments. I remember a magazine, I still have that magazine actually, called Grooves, and it was 1978, and Queen and Aerosmith were 2 of the biggest bands on the planet at the time, and it was the epic battle for the heavy metal crown, and you could send it, and anybody who bought the magazine, it had a little clip-in thing, you could send it in and vote for which band you thought should win the crown. And then the next edition of the magazine, which I also have, it would tell you who the winner was, and if anybody cares, it was Aerosmith who won that one. But regardless, really cool single from Queen. All right, just one from this band. This one's kind of fun. I actually have a couple more of these Japanese singles coming from Grand Funk, but this is Are You Ready? And then Mark Says All Right. So early Grand Funk, when they were just a complete jam band. I love the early stuff. I like most Grand Funk, but man, these early albums are great. And this one's kind of cool because it's got one of those weird, let's see if you can see on top right there. Remember those punch machines where you could punch your name in it? Someone put Grand period Funk period Railroad on the top of this thing, and that odd, you can actually feel it, you know, that bumpy lettering. I don't know why. I'm not going to peel it off because I have a feeling it'll destroy the cover, and I don't want to do that. Plus, it just kind of makes it unique. I mean, you know, it's my collection, and I like it, so I'm leaving it. All right, you know there's going to be Aerosmith in anything that I show you, right? Well, I only have one this time. My Aerosmith 7-inch collection is big, so finding stuff I don't have anymore is difficult, and usually it's stuff that's expensive. This is one I've been looking for a long time. I'm still looking for a better copy. This one's not bad. The vinyl itself is in great condition, but this is Sweet Emotion. This is a German pressing. Really hard to find one of these with the picture sleeve. Uncle Salty, deep track from Toys in the Attic on the B-side. Great track. You can see it's on the CBS label. And the only problem with this one is somebody put this number 892 on there. I don't know what that means, what it's for. I guess I could say this one's unique too, and nobody owns one quite like mine. But frankly, if I could find one that's in better cover condition, without the writing on it, I mean, other than that, it's in great condition. The back looks good. The front looks good. It's not bendy or foldy or torn, but man, that for whatever reason, that big 832 number that they put on there kind of bugs me. But even with that number on here, this thing was not. I didn't pay $1 for it. Some people won't pay more than $1, $5 for a single, but if you're going to get these rare collectible singles, you're going to pay up for them. Same thing with a lot of the new wave or British heavy metal singles, man. Those things go for a lot of money. So anyhow, next up, another Japanese single. Only one I'm showing by this band, another 70s band, but this is Rock and Roll from Led Zeppelin in the Atlantic sleeve. Now, I am not sure if this Atlantic sleeve is the correct Japanese sleeve or not. I've never owned this one before. It does say printed in Tokyo, Japan. I've just never seen that particular sleeve before. And it's a poly sleeve too. I don't know if you can see the poly lining in there. So it's kind of interesting. The seller that I picked this up from said it was an original pressing, and he's had it in his collection forever. But oh, and the B-side is 4 sticks. So just I mean, I like Led Zeppelin a lot. You know, I do collect some of their stuff. I'm not quite as fanatical about them as I am, you know, some other bands like Thin Lizzy and Aerosmith, Kiss, as you saw. But I do keep an eye out for their stuff. Unfortunately, Led Zeppelin singles, especially Japanese singles, usually sell for quite a bit of money. This is one that I bid the minimum on eBay. I saw it on there. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I bid $10. That was what it was. The minimum bid was. Nobody overbid me, so it was fantastic price for this single. There's actually a couple of these on eBay right now, and like they're all in the $20 to $30 range starting bids, and then they're all coming from Japan that have $20 to $30 shipping. So you're going to pay like $60 for that normally. So yeah, it was a steal at $10. All right, I got a whole bunch of Rush singles here. I've been adding to the Rush singles collection for quite a while, so it's not like I picked these up in like the last weeks or two. I've actually been collecting these for like 6, 7, 8 months. I just haven't shown them yet. So first up, we got Spirit of the Radio and the Trees picture sleeve single. This is UK pressing on the Mercury label. You can see the silver Mercury label. The silver, I think it's called a dye injection label. But nice to have a Rush picture sleeve. And Rush is just like Led Zeppelin. Their singles sell for crazy money, and it's very rare that you find, you know, a picture sleeve single, even a U.S. picture sleeve single on eBay, that, you know, only gets one bid if it's decently priced. But this is another one where I was just flipping through eBay and saw it and bid the minimum, and nobody else bid, so I scored. U.S. pressing of Closer to the Heart, backed with Free Will. Again, you can see that same blue Mercury sleeve. A U.S. pressing of Tom Sawyer, backed with Witch Hunt on the Mercury label. Again, a picture sleeve. This is a, I believe, a German pressing. Let me see. Look on the back real quick. I don't know. I don't see where it's pressed. I don't see the German label, so I'm just going to say it's a European pressing of Rush. Vital Signs and In the Mood. The cover's got a little bit of damage, as you can see. Some bending. You can see that. You can see it in the. But it's not horrible. So, all right, and then a couple more Rush. This is New World Man. I've had this one for a long time. I just, again, haven't shown it. It's been sitting in there in a pile waiting to be put away. So it was. It's 1982, and this being a UK pressing. And I need to hurry up because my camera is actually running out of juice. So I'm going to have to probably cut the video, put it back together again. But this is Subdivisions. And this too, I believe, is a UK pressing. 1982 as well. Yeah, Rush, Subdivisions, UK. Excellent plus condition. Slight ring wear. It's actually got a sticker on it from the person. But slight ring wear, man. You got to really look hard to get the ring wear, man. Maybe if I get some glare on it. There you go. It's more of a impression from the record than it is actual ring wear. All right. One more from Rush, and then I'm going to cut the video, and I will do part 2. But this is Rush. Let's see here. We got Force 10 backed with... So Force 10 backed with Time Stands Still, 1987. And this is a... Trying to see where on here. Like I said, I usually try and like write a sticker on here and tell me where these things are from, so I don't have to like search for it. But I just didn't have time to do that this time. So I don't know. It's a European pressing, but I always like the cover on this one. I know it's simple, but it's just a cool graphic. Okay, that's it. I'm going to end the video here. I still have quite a bit to show. I'm going to get into those right now, but I'm going to cut the video and come back with a part 2. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please leave a message below. I always love talking to you guys, and God bless. Stay strong.